Okay, so we're diving into railway careers today.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
it's fascinating how many different jobs there are.
it really is.
I mean, I think when most people think about working on the railway, they just think about the person driving the train.
Yeah, just the train driver.
But this is way more than that.
Oh, yeah. A whole lot more.
So we're going to try and go through and hit all the highlights, kind of get a quick overview of all the different things that people do.
Sounds good.
So you ready to jump in?
Let's do it.
Okay, so it starts with kind of the most obvious stuff, the things we think about first,
Mm-hmm.
um, like operations and train crew.
Right. So, like the train driver,
Yeah, a
Yes.
train driver.
which I mean, sounds pretty straightforward, driving the train. But,
I imagine there's a lot more to it.
oh, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
think about all the safety stuff they have to know.
Right, and like different types of trains,
Yeah.
different routes.
Exactly. Passenger trains, freight trains.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And the routes. I bet that takes a lot of training.
It does. Yeah. There's licensing and extensive training.
Wow, so it's not just like knowing how to make the train go.
No, not at all.
Okay, so then there's the conductor.
Yeah, the conductors on passenger trains.
Right.
They're the ones who make sure everything's running smoothly for the passengers.
So they're doing tickets?
Yeah. Ticket schedules.
Making sure people are safe.
Safety's a big one. Yeah.
I feel like that would be a hard job sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, you got to be organized.
Right.
And also good with people.
Yeah, because you're dealing with people all the time.
All the time. All kinds of people.
Okay, now this one I hadn't really thought about before.
Train dispatchers. Your
Yeah.
signalers. They're
Yeah.
kind of like,
Like air traffic control?
like air traffic control for trains.
Wow.
So they're the ones who are making sure all the trains are moving safely.
preventing collisions.
Exactly. Huge responsibility.
What kind of technology are they using for that?
Oh, I bet it's all kinds of high-tech stuff.
Yeah, like computers and sensors and
Real-time tracking
yeah,
and communication systems.
it's got to be stressful.
Oh, for sure. High pressure.
Okay, so that's operations and train crew.
Right.
But then there's a whole other area, engineering and maintenance.
Yeah, the people who actually build and keep up the railway itself.
So this is tracks, bridges, tunnels.
All of that, the whole infrastructure.
It seems like a huge job.
It is massive.
Okay, so we've got railway engineers.
Yeah, they're the ones who design and maintain all that stuff.
I can't even imagine.
Miles and miles of track.
Yeah, and all those bridges.
Tunnels, too.
It's amazing that it all works.
It really is a testament to the engineers.
Okay, so then there's signal and communications engineers,
Right. They're the ones making sure the signals work properly.
which I feel like we take for granted.
Totally. We only notice them when they don't work.
Exactly.
But they're essential for safety.
And I bet they're working with some really advanced tech, too.
Oh, yeah, for sure. All the electronics and software to control the signals.
So then there's rolling stock technicians.
Right, so they're the ones who keep the trains themselves running.
So they're like mechanics.
Yeah, basically they maintain and repair the trains.
So engines, braking systems, all of that.
All of that. Yeah, even down to the passenger cars.
They need to know a lot about different kinds of trains.
Oh, definitely. Different trains have different needs.
Right.
You've got freight trains, high-speed trains, local trains.
And then there's track maintenance workers.
Yeah, they're the ones out there actually working on the tracks.
So like inspections and repairs.
Exactly, making sure the tracks are safe.
And they're out there in all kinds of weather.
Rain, shine, snow, you name it.
That seems tough.
It's demanding work.
Okay, so that was a lot of different jobs just in engineering and maintenance.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into keeping the railway running.
Now let's talk about moving stuff.
Logistics and freight.
Yeah. So this is where the trains are actually transporting goods.
Right, like all the stuff that we buy and use every day.
It's amazing how much stuff moves by train.
It is a huge part of the supply chain.
Okay, so first up, freight train operators.
They're the ones who drive the freight trains long distances.
So like across the country.
Yeah, coast to coast.
Then there are rail yard coordinators.
They're the ones who manage all the freight cars in the rail yards.
Oh, wow. So they're like organizing all the different cars, making sure they go to the right places.
Exactly. It's like a giant puzzle.
I bet that takes a lot of organization.
Oh, yeah. They have to keep track of thousands of cars.
That's wild.
And then you have logistics managers.
So they're kind of overseeing the whole freight operation.
Yeah, they're looking at the big picture, making sure everything runs smoothly.
So they're thinking about routes and schedules,
And also how rail fits in with other types of transport.
like trucks and ships.
Right, it's all connected.
Wow, that's a lot to manage.
It is. It's a complex system.
Okay, so now let's shift gears and talk about the people who interact with passengers.
Customer service and station roles.
Right, so there's like ticket agents.
Yeah, they're the ones who help people buy tickets and give information.
They're often the first person you talk to when you're traveling by train.
Exactly. So they need good communication skills.
Right.
And then there's station managers.
So they're responsible for the whole station.
Yeah, making sure everything runs smoothly.
They're like the boss of the station.
Pretty much. They oversee staff-managed facilities, deal with any problems.
Sounds like a challenging job.
It can be, for sure.
And then there's passenger assistance staff,
Yeah, they help people who need extra assistance, like with boarding or baggage.
or people with disabilities.
Right, making sure everyone can travel comfortably.
I think that's really important.
It's about making the railway accessible to everyone.
Okay, so moving behind the scenes, again, we have management and administration.
Yeah, these are the folks who keep the whole system organized.
So like railway operations managers
Right, they're the ones planning schedules and managing staff.
and making sure the trains run on time.
Exactly, they're responsible for efficiency.
Seems like a tough job.
It is, there's a lot to juggle.
Then there's safety officers.
Yeah, they're the ones who make sure everyone's following safety rules.
So they're doing inspections and risk assessments.
Exactly, safety is paramount on the railway.
Right.
It's a dangerous environment if you're not careful.
And then there's transport planners.
They're the ones thinking about the future of the railway.
So like planning new routes and infrastructure.
Yeah, and looking at how rail fits into the bigger picture of transportation.
So they're thinking about how we'll be traveling in the years to come.
Exactly, they have to have a long-term vision.
That's pretty cool.
It's exciting to think about the future of rail travel.
Okay, so another important area is railway police and security.
Right, because you got to keep the railway safe.
So there's railway police officers.
They're the ones who enforce the law on railway property.
So they're like regular police, but specifically for the railway.
Exactly, they have to deal with all sorts of things. Theft, vandalism, you name it.
And then there's security guards,
Yeah, they're the ones who patrol stations and trains.
making sure everything's secure.
Right, deterring crime and keeping people safe.
It's good to know they're there.
Definitely, it adds a layer of security.
Okay, and then finally we have research and development.
Yeah, so this is where the innovation happens.
So railway technology specialists,
They're the ones developing new technologies for the railway.
like automation.
Yeah, and high-speed trains.
That's so cool. I love high-speed trains.
They're amazing, right?
Yeah.
And then you have environmental engineers.
So they're thinking about sustainability.
Exactly. They're working on making the railway more environmentally friendly.
Like reducing emissions.
Yeah, and noise pollution.
That's really important.
It is. We got to think about the planet.
So, wow, that was a lot.
We covered a lot of ground.
It's amazing how many different jobs there are in the railway industry.
It really is a whole ecosystem.
And it's not just about trains.
No, it's about engineering and logistics and customer service and technology.
It takes a lot of different skills to keep everything running.
Absolutely. It's a team effort.
So hopefully this has given everyone a better understanding of all the opportunities out there.
Yeah, there's something for everyone.
And maybe it's even sparked some interest in a career you hadn't considered before.
I hope so.
I mean, it makes you think about all the people behind the scenes who make it all possible.
It really does. It's a hidden world.
So as you go about your day, maybe take a moment to think about all the people working on the railway.
Yeah. Appreciate the work they do.
Because without them, we wouldn't be able to travel and transport goods so easily.
They keep the world moving.
Thanks for joining me.